Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Every bit of support is greatly appreciated. Now let's get to the video. Ooh, wearing dashing disguises to get your dance on the Fox Ghost? Ooh. Fuck off!
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
No, sirree! Come on, guys. Five Nights at Freddy's is not scary.
I see you.
Okay, maybe it's a little scary. Maybe a lot. I have always been an on and off Five Nights at Freddy's fan. From the day I found Markiplier's famous Let's Play showcasing this scary as shit game featuring Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, I was a big fan. And then, I think I grew up. I would have been 12 when this game came out, which was prime time to be a FNAF fan and for it not to be cringe. But around the end of the decade, I was turning 17 or 18, I just kind of fell out of it. And then Security Breach came out, I played it, and holy shit, I dodged a bullet. Security Breach was not the game for me to reintroduce myself to the franchise, but, as it turns out, after Into the Pit and more recently Secret of the Mimic came out and destroyed my expectations, I fell in love all over again. And if you want to believe me, there was always one part of the franchise I didn't pay attention to until, well, doing this video. The fan games. For as long as FNAF has existed, fans have made their own games off the format. Some of them suck, but most of these are phenomenal experiences, true art at its finest. If you want to believe me, I've actually found myself enjoying the fan games in FNAF more than most recent FNAF mainline games. Into the Pit and Secret of the Mimic were fine experiences for sure, but these fan games excel into something beautiful. They range from takes on lesser FNAF titles to creative takes on other Scott Cawthon games. Fan games including IP characters and even original characters. But geez, there's so many videos covering Five Nights at Candy's, One Night of Flumpty's, Joy of Creation. I could fill a whole room with these kinds of videos. But you know how many videos exist of Phobia the Awakening? I'm lonely. So that's what this video is all about. We're highlighting the lesser known fan games that don't nearly get the attention they deserve. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. So my first entry might not count in your category of underrated, as most FNAF fans know of it, but there are a few from the older days of the fan game community that sadly have been forgotten by time. I partially blame the overwhelming popularity of stuff like Candies or Flumpties, but at the same time, it's natural for any game to be lost to time. Do you remember Fusion Fall? No? Then shut up! With that, I do have a few here from the early days of the fan game community that I'd like to talk about first. Starting off with Five Nights at Treasure Island. This was easily one of the first when it came to notable fan games. I always judged these fan games notably if Markiplier, the king of FNAF, played them. And he did with this one. This was actually inspired not only by the overwhelming popularity of FNAF, but also the somewhat well-known creepypasta Abandoned by Disney. A creepypasta that actually follows the abandoned Disney attraction Discovery Island. But the reason I count this is, as I said, it's natural that most won't look at it the same way they look at Candies or Flumpties. So let's take a look here. Now, I am playing what I believe is an updated version of the game. I remember it looking a lot jankier with Mark, so let's see what this offers. We do have the thing I really don't care for with most of these early fan games, the phone calls. It's arguable that one of the most popular things in early FNAF games were the phone calls, so every fan game had to have them. And while some of them were creative takes, I really just don't care for most of them. The setup is that we're an intern working night shift at Discovery Island as employees move things out of it. Our job is simple. Watch the cameras and don't get caught. This is as simple as a FNAF fan game gets. It's essentially the same deal as if playing the original game. However, this does have a few notes I always picked up on in the past. The designs of the animatronics here are a negative-coded Mickey, Oswald the Rabbit, which I will always love a Disney-related project that acknowledges him, a headless Goofy, a Donald Duck head, whatever the fuck this thing is. The biggest thing for me is that this game has a creative way of dealing with the animatronics. By the way, they're not even animatronics. It's later explained in some weird way, but I just took that they're possessed. Anyhow, getting off track, if any of the creatures show up, specifically Mickey or Oswald for example, you just gotta go to a camera and turn it off, distracting them away from you. I also like that for some of them you have to turn the light off or just stand still, but if you turn the lights off, you might notice that their eyes are glowing. I always thought that was a good detail. What? You're going to Space Mountain, bitch! Okay, yeah, the jump scares are kinda lame. There are a few we'll get to that have really great jump scares, honestly, but for the most part, we got, yeah, I'm gonna make you play FNAF World! No, please don't. I don't really know what to put. It's a hell of a game for the time it came out. The designs on these costumes are pretty creative. Even if the jump scares aren't the most perfect in the world, there's a certain charm to this one. Our next classic fan game is a bit sillier, as a matter of fact both of them are, but we got Five Nights at Fuckboys. This is a collection of games that act as RPGs using the FNAF characters. Think Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. But there's one thing to remember with this game.
Inhale my dong enragement, child.
Yeah, that. Yep, as the title promises, these are some of the raunchiest, most vulgar, and ridiculously foul-mouthed games in the community. It's got that classic MLG humor that some may find cringe today, but personally, it's part of the charm. This one has multiple entries, but they pretty much all act the same. The first game, and get ready, because this plot rivals Claire Obscure and fucking Death Stranding 2. It follows Freddy wanting to throw a crazy party, but he needs to get rid of the cameras, so he shits on them. Well, what do? Not shit on the high-tech security cameras? Alright, I'm calling BS. Those cameras in the first game ran at a smooth 480p. These cameras were not it. The writing isn't the highest brow humor, but it's a solid RPG of this type. Incredibly simple, but hella effective. And the different levels of party hats being the baddies you gotta beat up, this is easily one of the funniest fan games. We also have Five Nights at Fuckboys 2, and I kinda suck at this, not gonna lie. But it's the same deal as the first, an RPG only featuring the second game's characters. And the third one, I couldn't get past the first fight, but whatever, yo. Just because I finished it, I'll focus on the first game, even though all of them basically function the same. This is what creativity does to unhinged people. Every second of this game is MLG humor and potty mouth stuff, but god damn it, it's really good at it. It's one of those games you don't really take seriously. It's dumb fun. This is one of the worst endings to any game I've ever played, and I've played Mind's Eye. But again, it really works for this game specifically. It's already such a poorly made project that an ending like this is actually kinda tame. It's still batshit insane, but you learn to kinda love it. Overall, these just don't get their justice, and I kinda hate that. This is by far and beyond one of the most creative when it came to these early fan games. Our last classic fan game is Five Nights with 39. It's a way goofier take on the Five Nights formula, but damn it, it's funny and well written. I'll admit the MLG humor of fuckboys, while funny enough, wasn't going to work for everyone. You know what this one reminds me of? The IT crowd. And that is a big compliment for a FNAF fan game. The game only really has 2 enemies, rather than 4 or 5. There's 39, who's like a nerdy version of Bonnie. Also, he's teal colored rather than purple. And then there's Plushie, who will come across your screen and force your camera away. With that said, I really don't have a need for the cameras, because this game doesn't really have an emphasis on that. There is a feature where if you go to the computer room, you can catch 39 looking up some family-friendly content, and you can just spook him. But for the most part, you could just hang out in the office and hear 39's constant rambling. Oh, I mean it, the writing for him is top-notch. He's constantly annoyed at the player for coming back each night, he doesn't like being watched, and he bullies you every second he gets.
Mate, seriously? Can you please crawl out of my f***ing ass?
Hey, who turned out the lights? Oh!
Do you even lift, bro?
This makes Five Nights with 39 one of the most interesting and somehow well-written parodies for Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll admit, it is a very simple fan game, and also, the power ran out way too quick on night 4. Like, I wasn't doing anything. Unlike the last 2, there's really no gimmick. Though, you want to know how to deal with 39 when he enters your office? That's fucking hilarious. Again, it had a small following when it came out, but not enough to warrant a whole video about it, and I think it's fair to put it with the others.
Wow, Xander, that's great. Are there any fan games about Stockholm's other projects?
I'm glad you asked, because next up we got Tyke and Sons Lumber Company. Now, a lot of fans might know this, but before he hit huge fame with FNAF, developer Scott Cawthon actually had some really bad luck with games. His games sucked, none as badly as Chipper and Sons Lumber Company. If you want to believe me, this game was actually the huge inspiration that eventually led Scott Cawthon to his final frontier, creating not only Five Nights at Freddy's, but the entire franchise with it. The game bombed hard, with many noting that the characters moved and looked like animatronics at a Chuck E. Cheese. Of course, nowadays we owe those comments for what it brought us, but back then, that had to be heartbreaking for Cawthon. I mean, he was going to quit. But guess what? Some fool said, some madman made a FNAF fan game based on Chipper and Sons. Some asshole said, yeah, let's mix the two. And it's kinda one of the best so far. Actually, I'll go ahead and say, this is by far one of the best fan games I've played overall. This is a madly creative way to incorporate not only Scott Cawthon's greatest creation, but also his worst. So the game acts as a sequel to Chipper and Sons. Chipper's son Tyke has a son named Mike, and they run the lumber company together, a company that's slowly losing customers. They continue to create lumber and even use old creations of Chipper's. This game has 2 sides. The daytime, which acts as the Chipper and Sons gameplay, going around planting and crafting to get tasks done, while also throwing in hella variety with minigames galore, and then the nighttime acts as a FNAF-style game, where you check windows and try to get sleep assurance. Pussy-ass bitch. I give credit, this game's highlight is the FNAF stuff. The atmosphere and overwhelming tension when you gotta hurry back and get batteries for your flashlight, oh god. I'll say, I wasn't jump scared that much. I think I only got 1 time. I got through each night rather fine. But man, it was tense, and I actively stressed out when I saw I was out of flashlight juice. When it is the daytime stuff, it's fine. I'll admit, this really should have been more of a Chipper and Sons fan game rather than a FNAF fan game, as I'd say the FNAF stuff is about 10% of what you're doing. The other 90%? Fuck yeah, I'm pissing my pants with fear right now! Yeah, when it's just the Chipper and Sons stuff, it's not bad, it's just really repetitive. But it's a management game, and it's kind of the whole purpose. Also, this game's story is really dark. I gotta say, this game has so much love and passion put into it that even if I don't get into the daytime stuff, it's still fun. It's another creative take, and I'm glad I played it. By the way, in the description you can get all of the GameJolt pages and links right there if you want to play these yourself. They're all pretty fun, so I'll leave those for you guys. So you know those escape rooms you can go into and have a bunch of puzzles you gotta solve before the timer runs out? Well, that's what the glitched attraction brings to FNAF. This is essentially a FNAF escape room. Each area has a variety of puzzles to solve, while you also have to keep those fucking animatronics at bay. It's a lot of stress because, mind you, it's easy to get so focused on your task and puzzles that when you get to the good stuff, you suddenly get met with an instant front row seat ticket to hell. It's very important to keep on your toes, but you also have a limited time to get things done, bringing the pressure that much more. Well, I've peaked. Getting dominated by Toy Chico was on my bucket list, so I just gotta check it off. Jesus. It's a solid time. A bit tough to get down, not everyone will enjoy it, but I think it's solid. I'm gonna show you something really scary.
Fruit salad.
These are the Wiggles, one of the most popular kids series out there. A show that had catchy music, likable protagonists, and creepy ass puppets. These fucking things were used only in a few episodes, but they made their impact. Look at them, they're prime for a FNAF fan game. Well, son of a bitch. Phobia the Awakening, oh god. I gotta say, this one's especially impressive because it was completely made in Blender. That's cool. But of course, it's a FNAF style game featuring the Wiggles puppets as animatronics. It's essentially the same deal as FNAF, with you watching cameras and keeping an eye on everything. Some of the Wiggles come from the hallways, some of them come from the vents, so you have to seal them off. One of them you have to keep an eye on the camera, and one of them in the office you have to keep them at bay with a shock. Seems simple, right? This is one of the scariest fan games in the fandom. There's a sense of tension with this, and I really didn't feel it with any of the others. At the most, during Treasure Island, the rush to get to a camera to turn it off, but this was a whole other level. From checking to see if this pirate guy moved, making sure this guy in your office isn't up and about to kill you, to checking on the regular Wiggles, to the simple fact that this game is in real time. Oh yeah, there's that little factor. This game runs in real-time style, similar to the fan game Those Nights at Rachel's. So the ones who come through the halls come down in real time, so on top of everything else that you have to pay attention to, there's also that. And these things are designed with your blood in mind. Look at these things. They were already creepy enough, but here they're mad terrifying. We're going to fucking kill you. And the lore of this one is one of the best when it comes to fan games. Almost on par with the lore of FNAF, but not entirely. This is a very solid fan game, and I've only ever seen one video covering it. The video from Thailand goes way more into detail than I can go, so check that out. It's a great video, I swear. Needless to say, what a game. One of the few to get me tense. Tension's gone. Faz-Karts. There's actually a 5 Laps at Freddy's coming out in 2026, but fuck 5 Laps at Freddy's. My homies play Faz-Karts. This one only has an alpha out right now, but still, let's take a look. Ooh, gotta name my profile. Look out, ladies and gentlemen, because here comes the racer to rival Jeff Gordon and Lightning McQueen, Freddy Faz shit. You may be surprised to hear that, yes, this is better than all 3 Nickelodeon kart racer games. Trust me on this. Faz-Karts is a very simple kart racer, but give credit, it's only an alpha. But as far as alpha goes, it's still very fun. It's a little weird I couldn't race with others, like I was the only one on the track, but this character roster alone solos Mario Kart and Sonic Racing. I said what I said. This is one of those games that has so much potential, it makes me wonder how the actual kart racer FNAF is getting will work out. I'm curious, I want to see that happen thanks to this game. I had my curiosity about the game anyhow, but this one really solidified it. We got 5 tracks here. The first one has some seriously bullshit obstacles. The second one is similar to the first, but it has some decent additions. The third one, Fazbear Frights, terrifying. The fourth one at least has some decent interior design. And the fifth one is cool, but a bit long. Honestly, I could see this being developed for like Roblox or even as its own big game. I don't know how the future development for this one looks since there's an official one coming out next year, but I'm gonna say this is pretty solid. Now we have one that, I'm not kidding, get the fuck out of my building. Nobody talks about this one. And that game is Animatronic Memories. I've never seen any video on this game, and I gotta say, when you consider how weird and bizarre it is, that's surprising. The game takes more inspiration from the old days of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza, especially the designs of these things. The game is separated into 3 different parts each night. The first part is your traditional office setup. Gotta check the cameras and close the doors on them bitch asses. Not with your bunny ass, get out of here. The only real difference is that you don't have power to worry about, but you can't keep the door closed too long. This part was easily the simplest, just keep your eyes on the cameras and keep those damn animatronics out. Part 2 is parts and services. You gotta do maintenance on the same animatronics that tried to kill you. Seems simple, but look at this bitch! Alright clown, make me laugh. This can get so stressful because you have to charge your shot and shock her in such a small amount of time. Part 3 is a little nicer with an arcade segment, usually a simple task like cleaning up or talking to the other animatronics. This is one of those games that has so much love put into it and it hurts my whole heart it basically has no attention on it. Maybe with my small influence here I can convince you guys to play it because I loved it. Alright, we got one last one to talk about, Those Nights at Fredbears. This is a free roam one. Okay, I see it. Let's get into it. Okay, simple enough. Just gotta roam around and keep an eye on the power. Oh, come on. This is simple, dude. Look at how slow this guy is. Ah, easy dubs, dude. Oh, this is gonna be a piece of cake.
Just take a look through my eyes. There's a better place.
Damn it! Hey, thanks for watching my video, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Every bit of support greatly helps me. Did I miss any fan games that you guys would like to see me talk about in the near future? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.